All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We are about to bring you the next game of the tournament. That's going to be Crs versus Acer. Both teams are ready. They are backstage. Tak więc zaraz zaczynamy. Crs z polską drużyną Acer będzie grał. So let's introduce onto the stage the team that just defeated SK Gaming in a fairly convincing fashion. Give a big round of applause. Proszę o duży aplauz for Team Crs. And of course, on the other side, what I hope to be is the crowd favorite. Tak więc po drugiej stronie już czekają Polacy. Mam nadzieję, że zgotujecie im troszeczkę gorętsze powitanie. Let's welcome to the stage, Team Acer! So, both teams are ready. Both teams are hungry for blood, at least I hope. So let them get started. Guys, go to your seats, please. Jeszcze raz wielkie brawa dla obu drużyn.
You take it?
Oj, ja znikam ze sceny. Będę oddawał głos komentatorom. So, I'm going to disappear from the stage and let's take it to our commentators for this particular match.
Hey guys, welcome back to the commentator booth here. My name is Joe Miller, if you didn't already know. Joining me is the lovely bearded, hairy man. As we called you in rehearsals yesterday,
yes, I was Team Harry.
Team Harry is of course Mr. Daniel Zenon Klein. How are you doing, Daniel? This is the first opportunity we've had this event. I mean, we're only a couple of games in, but still, how are you doing? How's Warsaw treating you? Except the intense sweat, I'm going to call it, rather than heat, because it's more than heat.
Yes, it's the humidity and everything. I don't know, it's been absolutely amazing, Joe. We haven't cast an offline event in a while, I want to say. It's been a while, I think CBIT, I guess, if we even cast that together at CBIT. I've missed you anyway, is the point. We did play we did cast some of the qualifiers together. Yeah. That was good. There was a lot of bacon involved in that cast. And I'm so happy to be here. You guys have probably seen it as well. The audience is just, it's sick, the atmosphere in here. And yesterday I spoke to Kam and asked him, they do have air conditioning here, yeah? And he said, yeah, but it's not calibrated for esports, is what he said.
It's not calibrated for us sweaty nerds in here, that's for sure. And there are lots of us,
yes.
That's for sure. The crowd here so far has been absolutely brilliant. As you can see there, you can't quite see the main stage. Joe Miller.
Really? They did it? Nice.
Really? They really did that?
Yep. Reddit, it is now official. It's been on a Riot stream. You can carry on.
You know how long I've worked to have just Joe Miller? You don't have to put anything in quotation marks, no nickname. How's that working out for you after 8 years?
Yeah, it's not so good, is it?
I'm never going to shake it.
Let's talk about the teams, Joe.
Let's do that. That's more important. We're going to have Crs versus Acer, the two teams which have won their first games. Of course, Acer took down Meet Your Makers in the all-Polish encounter in game number 1. And we just saw Crs taking out SK Gaming in their first game. Wasn't an easy game by any stretch of the imaginations. I'd go ahead and say that the Acer game was pretty easy for Acer against
It looked one-sided from the audience.
It looked one-sided. You know, they got off to a good start and they held that good start going through. Obviously, Acer, they've really been doing so amazingly well online recently. They've put some good results, and it looks up until now like they could possibly keep going here on online as well.
And they do have, they're one of the 3 teams actually with the home advantage. There are 3 old Polish teams involved in this event. There's ELO, there's Acer, and there's Meet Your Makers. Meet Your Makers looking a little bit shaky right now. Maybe that was part of the reason also why we decided to bring it this game. But definitely two strong Polish teams still in the running, and these guys, I mean, they can feel the audience here, and I'm sure that cheers them on. That's what they said at the interview as well.
I'm just going to scoot over a little bit because I feel like I'm breaking the camera.
Okay.
I am wide, as you may have
So
noticed,
am I.
so got to get in there. So we're into the bands and the picks, and we can see the first champion band out here for Curse is Rumble. Let's not forget where we are in terms of patches here on the tournament realm, currently on the Jace patch. And this is probably the patch where Rumble's been at one of his strong points. And as I say, that LoL Pro leads during Champion Select. Report, LoL Pro.
Report. We actually saw a very strong Rumble from Acer, or as they were called then, still Absolute Legends in the qualifiers. But back then it was Pookie Style playing the top lane. And he played a completely dominating Rumble in those couple of games that we watched. Not going to be Pookie Style this time, it's going to be 760, but 760 is an absolute beast. His Shen in that last game, just game-breakingly good. It's just amazing the work he did, and I am confident that he would do pretty much the same thing if he was given a Rumble, which of course Curse don't want to do. So, alright, Curse are saying 760 only had Rumble runes ready. I think they're trolling us a little bit there.
I'm not sure. We've seen stranger things happen, but I'm pretty sure that's how it was. So Rumble, obviously the first ban for Curse. The thing is, Acer, as you said, we saw Nico playing a great Shen. The question is, will Shen be left open?
Nope.
And as I get my question answered, playing to the story so they can hear me. Malphite banned out as well. We saw that in the last game, SK versus Curse, for a reason. Malphite has, I think we didn't really see much of him up until MLG. And then X-Hazard, obviously standing in for CLG that event, was like, look at this, Malphite is really good.
Look at it
and
works.
since then, Malphite's really come back into prominence and has looked so good. And it's no real surprise to see that Malphite is once again banned out. Yorick also banned out by Curse from this one. And I'll apologise now for the almost disco tone of our faces. That's because the lights are going up and down here over at the side. I prefer down because they just add to the sweat factor.
And I like the sweat factor, Joe. Got the final ban. They don't want their bot lane to be shut down. Yep. So it's 4 bans actually aimed at the top lane. 5 champions actually that can play top lane, but I'm going to say the Shyvana ban was probably aimed at a jungle Shyvana. This, however, leaves a couple of things open. It leaves Maluno's Alistar open, which was just so disruptive that last game.
Yep.
And I had somebody sitting next to me. I forget who it was now. It might have been Jaws. He was saying, why would they just leave Alistar open? It's one of the champions that if you are a really strong jungler who likes to gank, it's just the perfect champion for you, right? You can come in from behind the turret, turn on Unbreakable Will, just walk through the turret, basically go full Honey Badger and CC them. And Maluno is definitely one of these junglers who really doesn't care about farming in the jungle. He just wants to be there. He wants to build the mobility boots. And look, they're listening to me as well. There it is. I am like 99% sure this is going to be a jungle Alistar on Maluno.
I'm going to head and say 1% chance that it's not. But here we go, directly locked in there. Acer not messing around. Orianna, who we saw in the first game as well. And there is the Jax, which is going to be a very, very big threat.
Let me point out a nice synergy between Orianna and Jax. Orianna can put a ball onto Jax, then Jax jumps in, gets the stun off, and the ball pulls them all together as well. It's or the other way around, pulls together, then he stuns, whatever. It's a great interaction.
Either way, it's a double stun.
It is, it's a double stun and a lot of damage. And we see Ezreal and Nunu locked in for Curse very, very quickly as well. Ezreal and Nunu, not a lane that we generally think of is that strong, but remember, is a double attack speed debuff here, both from the Snowball and from the Essence Flux. And what do we see here on Acer, Joe?
Well, the Taric Graves. Graves obviously has been, I think the official statistics from MLG were like a 97% pick or ban rate for Graves. He was very, very visible in that tournament. Obviously, a DreamHack that carried through as well. We saw a lot of Graves. We've not seen him in the last game, Curse versus SK. Don't think he was in game number 1 either, if I'm not totally mistaken.
I think there was one Taric.
Corky. That bottom lane in the first game was Corky versus someone else. Can't remember. My brain, as you guys are already aware, those that are watching at home on the stream, is very much Goldfish-like. But that is going to be the bottom lane locked in there. Tariq and Graves for Acer. The question is now, what are Curse going to polish off their lineup with? Of course, we've got Alistair, who we are most likely going to be seeing in the jungle. There is obviously still that possibility not. And there is the Vladimir last second pick up there by Curse. So we are going to be seeing Vladimir up in this top lane, obviously Morgana in the middle. The question still kind of remains whether it'll be Alistair Ezreal or Nunu Ezreal. I'm probably weighing over towards the fact that the cow will be in the jungle, and as you said, that double attack speed debuff that you've got there from the lane of Ezreal Nunu will probably go in there. And there is Lee Sin, a champion which I'm going to go ahead and say is going to be banned in Group B probably more than anything else. A lot because of diamond procs. Quite frankly, the best Lee Sin player that I think we have in the game.
I see a lot of people actually leaving Lee Sin open to M5, and that's just one of those. And the reason, Joe, I was so silent there for a minute was because I went deep into myself and recalled, of course, flawlessly the picks and bans for game 1.
He definitely went deep into himself /emails and got the picks and bans from earlier.
Well,
calling him out
Corky, it was. I am also a goldfish.
Called out.
Yes.
But yeah, my brain. You guys already know it. Mathematics and memory in the short term, not my strong points. But we have got the lineups all fully in there. So we are going to be seeing for Curse Anguish with Vladimir in the top lane, bottom lane of Ezreal Nunu, Morgana in the middle, and the cow in the jungle. For Acer, of course, we've got Orianna in the middle, bottom lane of Graves Tariq, Lee Sin in the jungle, and Jax up in this top lane. Question is now, Mr. Klein, who is your favorite coming into this one?
I really like Curse's lineup. I really think Curse are possibly just with a somewhat stronger lineup just because of the very, very safe lanes that they have, both Vladimir and Morgana. And on top of that, they can put a lot of pressure onto the enemy lanes thanks to that godlike Alistair, the cowboy outfit. I do like the other team as well. There's a lot of people that jump on, that dunk on top of you, and there's no one that's too squishy except for Orianna, who can hang way, way back. I like that as well, but I kind of want to give it to Curse here. However, LoL Pro is very good friends with M5, so maybe some of Diamond's Lee Sin rubbed off on him there. I don't know, but I expect really great things from him as well.
Well, here we go then into the game. Let's give you once again a rundown here of the two lineups for Curse. We have Anguish on Vladimir, Slepper on Ezreal, Zinnek on Nunu, Extinct on Morgana, and Malunu on Alistair. For Acer, we have Salava on Orianna, Pookie Style on Graves, Super A's on Tariq, LoL Pro on Lee Sin, and Nico on Jax, or 760 Nick, which he's changed his name. Hanging around with these days, but remains to be seen, will we see a level 1 invade? Not something that's common these days. We saw it a lot more when you go, into the past. It's a very risky maneuver, quite frankly. A game can be won and lost at level 1. There's no doubt about that one. See that the ball from Orianna going in, and Curse looking like they will set up for the invade. LoL Pro will spot that advancing Curse movement. Ward has gone down outside of the Wraiths. That has been spotted, of course, by Acer. They were all sat back ready and waiting there in the brush by the Wraiths. So they know that there's a ward there. They know that they need to be careful in terms of going past that ward, specifically, obviously, the jungler. Will probably want to avoid that area as much as possible to give as little vision as he can.
And what actually happened is Orianna's ball just barely scouted. I just switched to Acer's vision there for a second. They just barely scouted them in the brush there. So perfect vision there from the ball. And the Wraith Ward is also very important because it kind of tells you what stage the enemy jungler is in. If you know where they're starting, you get a rough idea when they can come for a level 2 king. And oh, Joe, this could be very bad for LoL Pro.
This could be very bad for LoL Pro. Maluno is going to go in there first. LoL Pro actually decides to back away from it. Have Curse got what it takes here at level 1? You'd say so. I mean, you've got Morgana in there, you've got Alistair in there. That's two already very destructive champions at level 1, and we can see that this blue buff is being plundered by Curse. They will actually use the smite there from Maluno in the end to take that one away. We are going to get back into what I call a more normal thing. Now, I talked to Curse yesterday, and we talked about, against CLGU, they're actually pretty good in terms of, their results on paper. against Moscow 5 is something different. And what they said was, you know, they fancy a bit of lane switching. And as of now, we've got a complete meta-breaking lane switcheroo going on with the AD carry support lane in the middle for Curse, the middle lane in top, the top lane in bottom, but on the other side it doesn't quite match up that way. We've got Graves in the top lane, Tariq Jax in the middle, and we are going to see the stun coming in onto Slepper. Can they finish things off? There goes the leap strike, and there is the first blood. It goes over to Tariq, but they won't really care too much that it's gone. A kill is still a kill, and that will be first blood going over onto Team Acer, and you know, the most definitely favourites, at least in this hall here, in the cinema at least. You know, Polish team on Polish home soil, and they are going to be feeling very, very confident. And as I said to Demon earlier on, Acer are the team in Group A now who are going to cause the upsets, or have the ability, I'm going to say, to cause the upsets. They're the team that have shown great results online, beat some good teams there, coming here, taking down MYM for their first game, and now, as I said, they've got no real pressure on them. No one really expects them to beat Curse or SK, but that can work in their favour as well, especially with the entire Polish audience on their backs about it.
They definitely have that potential, and I think we just need to just reference the obvious game here with these lane switch-ups. This is of course very reminiscent of the CRG.NA vs EU game from Korea last week, or was it this week? It was this week, yes, of course.
Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly, with the Nunu in mid lane as well. Now the Dazzle actually goes out onto Slapper, he barely gets out of range there, did not get stunned up by Jax. Good exchanges, and now it looks like there's a top lane plus support and a bot lane plus support in mid lane. So, about as strange as it can possibly get. I'm not entirely sure how this is going to work out, but Joe, the general tendency is that the team that is quicker to adapt wins with these super crazy lane switches.
Yeah, that's very, very true. The bottom lane, I'm not 100% sure how that's going to go. Vladimir has already taken... I had to adjust what I was going to say, which was balls to the face. But he's taken a lot of damage. I said it anyway. But, you know, that's a hard lane, in my opinion, for Vladimir coming in. We all know that Vladimir, when he gets up to that level 9 kind of area, that's where he's at his real strongest. But early on, he's going to take a lot of damage from this Orianna. And the good thing is that he can, you know, take it all back with his Q, and he's here as well later on once he gets the revolver really in his setup as well. This middle lane, of course, as you said, Jax Tariq versus Ezreal Nunu. Not a lane that you're used to really describing how that should technically go.
Yes, there is no technically for that. I think we're in entirely unexplored territory here right now. What I can tell you for sure is that 760 is taking a lot more poke than he normally would in top lane. There's both the snowballs and the stuff from Slapper coming in, but you see in bot lane now, Flash is used aggressively here against Selva. Barely gets out of range there. Was it a flash used by Maluno? Yes, it was a aggressive flash by Maluno. So well done by Selva there. Of course, Orianna is not used to being in such a long lane, and that is the major difference between mid lane and any of the side lanes, in that you may have to run much further to get back to your turret, and that's why you generally put the squishy, dangerous champions in mid lane. There's a reason why the meta is the way it is.
Meta? What's this meta you talk about?
These teams have never heard of it, I can tell you that.
Well, it's always interesting, at least. That's one thing that I'll say. No boring stuff here today. This is all kind of topsy-turvy, but you know, makes a good game to watch. We currently have around about a 600 gold difference in favour of Acer, obviously, with that first blood going to be helping. Actually, we see there Selva starting to push in towards Angush, and the thing is, Lee Sin is coming around the side. There is a ward there, but that's an Acer ward. Angush has started to back away, and in the end, it looks like he is going to be going home, or maybe he won't, because Maluno is starting to work his way down, and they are going to push in. There's the ulti from Vladimir. There goes the headbutt plus the pulverize. Can they pick up this kill? He's going very low, and he will get the kill. It's Maluno in the end who manages to seal that deal, and that will bring us back to a 1-1 and a slight gold advantage for Curse. Let's have a look at the CS, because that's the interesting fact, as we have had another bit of a switcheroo, and now we've got Graves in the middle. That was mainly because, you know, Actually, Jax was ahead in CS, which I didn't quite expect. You'd expect Slipper to harass him constantly out of that one. Didn't quite work that way, and Jax will be feeling very, very confident with that 1 assist. Got himself the longsword plus the health crystal, boots in there obviously as well. And it looks like the what we'll call the traditional bottom lane is now in the middle. Top has somewhat normalised with at least Jax going up there, your usual top laner, but Morgana is still there. But we may see another switch. Lee Sin actually coming in here. There goes the stun in onto Slepper, and there is Graves pushing down. He actually put the ulti through, but with the ignite, not quite got the damage to finish off.
There's a teleport coming in though right now from Team Curse, and Extinct goes in with the ult, but he has the black shield on himself. He's probably gonna get Super Ace proc. Super Ace is procced, and he is in the Dark Binding as well. Lord Pro puts the shield on him, and this may just be enough for Super Ace to get out of it. It is actually, Moluno has the mark on him. I don't think it looks like Lord Pro is going to want to jump. No one dies there. That was a very, very aggressive teleport in from Extinct. I like that, but it's astonishing that they couldn't kill the support quickly enough.
Yeah, the focusing was all a little bit weird as well. We saw Alistair come in there, Nunu come in there, Zinnik obviously focus on Lee Sin, I suppose more to keep him out of the fight than anything else, but they probably could have done with that damage to help them try at least to finish off that kill. Didn't work out for them, and that leaves us with a bang-even game on gold. Okay, we see Acer slightly ticking ahead, but it's very, very even, this one. We have the kills, one with Taric, one with Alistair, which I suppose we could say for the future is probably better for the Alistair player. But we'll have to see how this all goes out. We've had another lane switch. This bottom lane of Curse are determined to be matched with Jax, which, as we saw in the middle, wasn't actually that effective. No.
Yeah. And now Vladimir, as you pointed out, is level 7 as well. He decided to go for a very, very power-hungry build, straight for the needlessly large rod, and we can see something potentially interesting happening in top lane. Super Ace is there, but he's standing on a ward, and so is LoL Pro now. A little bit too early in the game to have wards, so I think Slepper and Cynic are going to be super safe here. Let's see how they play this, because if they're too safe, they give away their cards, but yeah, Super Ace and LoL Pro decide it's not worth sticking around for that. And now Extinct is mid lane. What is Morgana doing mid lane, Joe? What is this? This is so strange. Actually, 760 is going in top lane there. The follow-up stun from Taric doesn't quite get in range to do that. And the exchange is actually better for Curse in that case.
Yeah, Nico, showing his kind of early game dominance there. Got good farm in the middle against Ezreal. He's actually fallen behind now after Ezreal made that switch up to the top lane. He's got double door on his blade. Actually, this is an interesting move from Vladimir. Has gone directly into a needlessly large rod, which is, not the most common. We see in Asia a lot that, these Vladimirs under pressure will go door and shield even if they need to in the early game. But something more common, in towards that revolver, as I said earlier on. He's gone straight in for that pure AP. So Angosh obviously feeling that he wants to put that pressure a little bit more down onto Orianna. That bottom lane currently 77 to 64 CS. So now Vladimir is winning out that lane still.
So there's two types of power jumps that Vladimir can have there. He can buy the revolver, which is the normal one, which is a jump in sustain, and Morgana's not going to find anyone there. It's just a jump in sustain, or he can build straight for the death cap and get a jump just in damage output. And it looks like they want the latter, and it kind of does make a lot of sense because with Alistair and with Nunu, and even with Morgana, they have a lot of people that can at least zone people somewhat from a fight, so that Vladimir can, not get dived on completely. And if he is doing well enough for that, I can kind of see how that works. But it's definitely unconventional.
We've had another lane switch there. Silver actually does have the blue buff. Morgana's gone back top. Jax, Taric, and Lee Sin are in the middle. Maluna's at least jungling, which is, a good thing as a jungler. But a real big switch in this one. Actually, in the middle lane, we've got the dive coming in. There's the kick back onto Slepper. He's not getting away from this one. Acer with 3 men pushing straight in on towards the turret. Gonna pick themselves up the kill. That puts them in the lead in terms of kills. The goal is still bang even, though, after 11.5 minutes. The question is now which lanes will switch and when and where and
why.
And why, maybe even is the question. But currently top lane Graves against Morgana. As I said, Jax had come back down into this middle lane, and it's hard to really compare the CS. I mean, if you line up the players in their traditional roles, at least, the AD carry Ezreal compared to Graves. Graves has 20 CS, let's call it, more. In the top lane, you've got Vladimir with 93. to the 73 of Jack. So that's 20 more as well.
Yep.
AP, you've got Morgana on 97, Orianna on 83. So that's edging its way towards 20 as well. The junglers 55 to 50. That's not quite the difference there, but you can see from that Curse, despite being 2-1 behind in the kills, are now, well, 300, 200 gold in the lead because they are still farming out very nice. These lane switches are working in their favor.
It is Graves, though, that is currently ahead, and I think as the game goes longer and longer, that is going to matter a little bit more than the other CS. But we'll have to see how they take it in teamfights. LoL Pro going in very aggressively here against Maluna. Is he going to jump in? The last kill that we actually saw there against Slepper was a super long distance jump from Lee Sin's Q, and LoL Pro is definitely a very, very aggressive player there. Nice little bit of ward baiting going on there near the Dragon Pit. There is the dazzle going in onto Cynic. LoL Pro jumps in and immediately cancels. No, Cynic must have cancelled his own ultimate there.
Yeah.
That's the Acer ultimate coming in. The Orianna ultimate actually also hitting just one person. Extinct procs his ultimate on 760, who is a little bit out of the fight. Now Extinct getting jumped on by LoL Pro, who is still so aggressive. Even though it looked like his team was falling back already, he still wants more. And once again, Joe, no kills.
No kills indeed. They're really struggling to lock these kills down. That may change here in the middle. We see the Vladimir ulti going in onto LoL Pro. He's actually going to be shielded up there and should be fine from that one. But Curse, now we've not seen a single turret taken down up until this point. Will that change? Well, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, of course it will change. Maybe now, maybe 60 minutes down the line, who knows? But that will, of course, change. The question is in which direction, because right now, you know, as we've said, the CS is well and truly over with Curse, although Orianna has now started to nicely come back into that one. Jack's also, you know, been given a bit of time in this middle, is starting to farm his way back into things as well. But you've still got to give, in my opinion, the advantage over to Curse there. Technically the more experienced team in this position. Let's not forget that both teams have 1 win, 0 losses up until this point. So this could very well be the decider who tops the group.
Yep. And that is, of course, exactly the position you want to be in, short of a 2-1 tie. You are not going to drop out of the group anymore at that point.
Yeah.
Jax is back in the middle with his support, Taric, of course. LoL Pro is just waiting around the corner. Look at how often it is that LoL Pro is somewhere just waiting to go in for a gank. A lot of farmers these days, junglers these days, spend a lot of time actually farming the jungle because of the new, of course, respawn times. But LoL Pro just wants to gank all day long. And his Wraiths and his Golems were up the whole time while he was waiting there as well.
Extinct here in the top. I mean, Graves put everything out there onto Extinct, dropped him down to around about a quarter of his HP. But again, not quite getting the kill. Ulti is burned from Graves, which, you know, not the longest of cooldowns. Didn't use his Ignite with that one either. And we can see down at the bottom there, Maluna does have that Oracle up. Is the one trying to clear out as many wards as he can. Actually, he's going to come back down towards this bottom lane, and he's going to try and sneak in through the bush from the bottom side. Silova actually will start to back away, and that's because that blue buff is now available. They want to make sure that Orianna maintains this blue buff, that she is able to stand and bang with this Vladimir in the bottom lane.
And she did build a Chalice first, which is also something that you normally see on Orianna's. And they actually are going in on her. The Pulverize does barely miss there, I think, but so does her Shockwave as well. The ball was still on Silver, and the shield is going to keep him safe, so he's going to survive this. So 2 missed spells there, Joe, cancelling each other out in the end.
Yo, we saw from Vladimir the EQ combo damage there right at the end, what he can actually do at that stage. And that's something that's got to be a little bit worrying for Silver down at bottom. And as I say that, he comes up with the Negatron cloak. So getting that magic resisting, obviously against Vladimir, who's gone less for the sustain, more for the damage.
Yeah.
Blue buff currently being given over here to Slepper by the looks of things.
Yeah, I kind of like that. Morgana really not very blue buff dependent. Generally, she should be able to keep her mana up just by, you know, not being too spammy. And in a team fight, she doesn't need to keep putting out spells. She just needs to get a good ultimate in and maybe a good dark binding. And in mid lane, we see Super Ace looking for that stun again. But Maluna was around the corner as well. That could have backfired very, very badly. Maluna now with the Oracles and none on LoL Pro at the moment. I don't know, has he bought one yet? Did you see anything there, Joe?
Not to my knowledge, up until now. But, you know...
They are going in on Cynic, though. Sorry to interrupt you there. He uses his absolute zero just for the initial proc, and Slepper is coming in with a good amount of damage. Maluno coming in from the side, 760 getting very, very low, jumping to his own minutes. He still has an Ignite ticking. He is going to survive just barely. Wow. Well played. And Celeber was coming up, so it was a well played from Curse as well to disengage after they couldn't get the kill on Jax, because if they'd stayed there, that could have ended badly. Shockwave was back and available again, thanks to the cooldown reduction from the blue buff.
Yeah, the pot really helping out, basically, to keep him alive from that one. But again, close stuff, and they're not quite able to finish off these kills. And that's something that's been, for both teams, a bit of a problem up until now. We can see Pokestyle up in this top lane there, just pressuring Extinct down once again. 142 CS, which is, again, he's taken that lead, which Orianna managed to start to really bring back in her favour. Or I say in her favour, but no, just not quite as severe a deficit. This time, though, it has gone, it's started to build itself back up.
And we can see in top lane LoL Pro going in on Extinct, but a perfect Dark Binding is going to keep Pokestyle out of damage range. Extinct very, very calmly saying, well, I can Dark Bind you. Actually, LoL Pro still has not got enough. Pokestyle is coming back in, and the ultimate is not going to hit. Thanks to a great flash there from Morgana, the Dark Binding also not hitting, and Maluno does not want to go in with Extinct being this low right now.
Yeah, Maluno did start to hang around, but once that Dark Binding misses, he's like, nah, not really that much that I can add up to that one. But at the moment, Acer are pressuring this middle lane. We can see that Orianna has now switched into her more commonly known position of middle.
Yep. LoL Pro is coming around from the back door into top lane. Pokestyle has gone past the tower already. Extinct must know that he's in a bad place. Let's see if he can reach him with a Q. Is he going to go for it? Yes, he's queuing in actually. Extinct is running out of her. That's definitely going to be a very, very dead Morgana here. The Esmeralda ultimate doesn't hit anyone. There is the kill pickup actually coming out of Lee Sin. Well played there.
The Q finishing things off. Maluno coming back up there just, well, a little bit too late, let's call it. Not quite in the right position that he needed to be to defend his teammate. And that is Acer taking the lead now. One thing that I'm not 100% sure of is, you know, the difference, and we say it often, between a great team and the best teams is the ability to, number one, gain a lead, and number two, take it to the finish. Have Acer really got what it takes to do this one? I mean, the global objectives up until now, specifically Dragon and obviously Baron, have not been touched. They've been, you know, a little bit forgotten somehow. I guess that's more towards the fact that they're so even, both of these teams, that neither team is really feeling that they have that advantage that they need to start to push down those kind of objectives. Super Ace actually is going to go in there, and as if by magic when I say it, they're going to do themselves a dragon. And this is perfect timing from Acer now. They've got themselves that little lead, and now this is the point where they need to start to build on that lead and push it further. But as in you know, normal fashion, Angosh sees that they're going down towards the dragon, and he's like, well, then I'll take your top out of Torre.
And Vladimir is in top lane now. He has built the death cap, and then, because Joe, he is also listening to you, he built the Doran's shield next. It's a little confusing. A little confusing. Doran's shield Doran's items generally are considered very early game items. They don't build into anything. They give you good value for money, so to speak, but it's not really great for the mid to late game. So he did buy that, probably because he wants to switch to top lane and go against Grasswell. In bot lane, we actually see Cynic being dumped on by 3 members of Acer right now. Slepper is still fighting because Extinct was coming from behind. 760 now going very, very low. He has used his ultimate to have a little bit more armor and magic resist. Is Slepper going to flash over? No, Maluno is coming in. Yes, there is the shift, the arcane shift coming across the wall, and 760 actually finds a ward.
Wow.
The chase is still on though. LoL Pro has Angush's ultimate onto him, and let's see if the proc is going to kill him. Yes, the proc is actually going to kill him, and a double kill for Angush as well, picking up the Taric there too. Celeber takes a Dark Binding to the face, and this is not looking good for Team Acer right now. He goes down as well, and Curse, since they're in the neighborhood anyway, decide to take Comrade Golem as well.
Yeah, and that's where, you know, the stuff hit the fan in terms of this Acer game.
Yeah.
And that's what I said. I'm not sure if they've got the follow-through that they need. Are they that experienced? You know, technically not, I suppose. We can say in terms of their tournament experience and what have you.
Yeah.
Angush, though, is being a bit of a boss in terms of knocking down turrets. He's taking the outer turret on both the top and the bottom lane. Acer are farming as much as they can. They're 1,500 gold behind. As we can see there, between the two teams, where that gold lies. I mean, 6,000 compared to 6,500 between the AD carries. So that's a good position for Graves to be in. Ezreal's died twice, got himself 3. Assist does have now Sheen and Phage compared over with the BF Sword Pickaxe, Double Doran's Blade, and the Vamp Scepter on the Graves. But he's working up towards that Infinity Edge by the looks of things right from the very start. Orianna now has got the Abyssal Scepter added in. LoL now could find himself in a little bit of trouble. Dark Binding not actually going to come out there for Extinct, which kind of surprised me. I think it was more a positional thing, and actually this time will end up landing it, and there comes the ultimate from Ezreal. Actually, LoL jumped in onto Zinnek, and that got him out of position. Here comes Extinct, will actually get kicked away, and that's going to cancel his ulti. There's the Orianna ultimate coming in as well. That will make sure that LoL is safe, and now they turn the damage around, but Curse not having any of it as the cow comes in. I'm not sure that any kills are going to come from this one. Maybe now, as we do see that Angush works his way in towards the middle, and they want to take this third and final outer turret in the middle lane. Not quite sure that they've got the position and the damage to be finished that one off. Angush is actually just stealing away the Wraith, and in the meantime, we can see that Nico down on this bottom lane. He's going to be taking away the the second turret, the second outer turret of the game for Acer. So if we look at the gold, it's 800 difference, slight kill advantage over with Curse. Actually, look at this. You can see that Nico's got up to that strong point in the game. There's the ultimate from Zinnek, which was, I think, more for the slow there rather than obviously the damage with those items. And in the end, it will force Jax at least to back away from that position. So 24 minutes in, we've had that one dragon takedown. But other than that, things still for me could be won or lost from either team.
Let me point out that Graves has finished his first pick. I think he has finished the Infinity Edge, while Ezreal obviously still working on the Trinity Force. I'm not entirely sure how much you need. I think he probably has the money now, so once he goes back, but he should make sure to go back before the next fight. Because money in the bank is not worth very much in a team fight. It's only money that you actually invest in power, of course. It still looks, as long as there's only small skirmishes, it still looks like Acer keeps coming out ahead due to clutch play. That Celevar ultimate there just to keep LoL safe. Perfect play there. I wouldn't even have thought of that because, you know, generally you're in the mindset, I'm going to use my ultimate to kill. In this case, it was I'm going to use my ultimate just to give my teammate the half second he needs to run away. Yeah. And that was just great play. But it looks like as soon as it gets into the 5v5 fights, the really big fights that need a lot of coordination, a lot of shot calling, that is where Curse have the advantage. And Meluno going in very aggressively. Ezreal actually not hitting anything, but the Angush ultimate is going to hit very well onto Pokestyle and onto LoL. And Pokestyle goes down to the ultimate, and LoL goes down also from Vladimir damage. So a double kill for Angush, who I think, Joe, you called it, is playing like a boss this game.
Yeah, he's doing so well. And you know, there was this whole thing with Curse, with Youngbuck in there. Angush gone, now Angush back. Youngbuck kicked, then he goes to SK, now he's kicked. And Angush just showing us he is top notch. There is actually his third turret kill of this game. 3 out of 3 going his way. So, you know, he's playing a very strong Vladimir right now. Actually, he's working his way up towards the Crystal Scepter as well. Got the blasting one, plus that Giant's belt in as well. And that, we talked about the old Doran shield thing. It came fairly late in the game, considered more to be an early game item, but it's given him that little bit extra that apparently he really wanted in this one.
That was close. That was a nice close recall, of course, calculated. He knew that 760 would walk in there this second, and they're not going to look for anything. Yeah, the role of Vladimir in a team fight is very much, I mean, you do want to put the ultimate down for the damage amplification.
As I say that, he finishes his Crystal Scepter by the second Doran shield.
Exactly, that's exactly what I was going to talk about. And then you want to clean up, and the slow from Crystal Scepter is just absolutely important to make sure people can't run away from you and kite you while you try to clean them up. And Angush is now, just look at his position, he is very confident there. Extinct is still pushing mid lane a little bit there. Don't think that Acer really want to go for this dragon. I think what they want to do is they want to find a good person to jump in on, maybe even separate somebody with a Dragon's Wrath. Oh, no, that jump was just purely defensive. And Joe, what would you do if you were in Acer's shoes?
Well, I'm trying to wait for the game to catch up. There it is. Comes back in. And, well, Acer are start now on this blue buff. Actually will be stolen away by the Ezreal ulti. And now this fight is going to kick off there. Angush actually uses the Sanguine Pull to start to escape. But Nico is not finished just yet. There is the Vladimir ultimate. Can they finish chasing off? Actually, Vladimir has backed totally away from that fight. Doesn't want to be pushed in there. But, you know, with that extra life still getting a bit of health back, maybe they'll switch off. Dragon has been started now by the other 4 members of Acer. The question is, can they fight? Well, against 2, they can definitely fight there. And we will see that the red team does pick up Dragon going over towards Acer. He is extinct. The ultimate is going to proc off there, getting the kill. Actually was stolen away by Ezreal, but kills the kill. And here is Angush once again. Pucky side going very low. He dies. Celiva dies as well. Can they finish off? The Law Pro has dropped very low. It's going to be Jax basically causing all the problems in there. But the quadra kill racks up for Ezreal. And if it couldn't have gone any worse, well, I suppose it could have been a pentakill.
That's true, that's true. Very, very nice move from Extinct. Teleporting in onto a ward here on the ramp from Dragon to the enemy team's blue buff. So that was really well done, but it just was not enough. He did get in at perfect Sonya's timing as well. Yeah. He dodged all the damage from the shockwave, but still it was not enough. It was just Angush taking so very long to die. I mean, yes, in the end, Jax did get him, but we're now coming to the stage in the game, Joe, where Angush is no longer going to be their main worry. Their main worry is slowly going to be that AD carry, that Asriel, of course, on Slepper.
Yeah, and when you say slowly, I'd say quite quickly,
it's
maybe.
Happened. It's happened, yeah.
I mean, he's 4-2-4 now. Trinity Force is finished. He's just gone home.
And bought a Bloodthirster.
And bought himself a Bloodthirster.
That's bad.
Not quite outright. He had the Vamp Scepter. Or did he have the Vamp Scepter? I think he did.
I'm not even sure.
Either way, it's close, you know.
Yeah.
400 watt gold, so it's not that much big of a difference. But that is now a very, very scary Ezreal. Actually, Vladimir has sold off one of his Door and Shield now, picking up the Chain Vest and the Amp Tome. And he is just looking... I don't know, in these team fights, he's caused them a lot of problems, obviously. We saw him being focused, and he's just like, well, you know, you burn everything on me, that's fine by me. I'll run back towards my team, I can Sanguine Pull. There's no way that they should really lock him down, and that's what's proven to be a real tough point here with this Angush.
And he's still not bought any Spell Vamp. Of course, I think that Amp Tome is going to be a revolver. I'd be very surprised if it isn't. And I think a little bit of Spell Vamp, he could have probably just lived through a lot more of the Jax damage there. But because he's waited so long to go for Spell Vamp, he could front load the AP into his build, and that is what made him such a disruptive influence on the game. But the game, even though it looks, if you just look at the numbers, it looks like Curs have an advantage. I really wouldn't say they have a clear advantage. I think this is still absolutely neck on neck there, and if Pukisar could finish his PD sometime soon, it's going to be bad news once again for Curs, because that's going to be yet another of those power jumps. And Graves just has power jumps in sustained damage, whereas Ezreal very, very much in the pokey stuff. He's going to be very, very strong there, but the sustained damage coming out of Graves, especially because Graves also can stay a little bit closer to the fight thanks to his passive. As soon as he finishes that PD, it's going to be another good power jump, and Acer may want to try to team fight off of that.
Yeah, it's pretty close to that Phantom Dancer as well. Over on the other side, though, Vladimir and Ezreal looking good. I mean, even if you look towards Maluno, 207, got the Aegis built up now, got a Kindle gem in there. There's a Kindle gem with Nunu, so possible double Shurelya's Reverie going over that side of things. And on the other team, doesn't look like Acer anywhere near to go in that direction, actually. So that's going to give Curs certainly a movement advantage to chase, to escape from things. And this could be interesting now as well, as we see Nico come to the top side of things. That ward will have spotted his position, but Curs are more interested in pushing this lane out and maybe then headed off towards the Baron, which actually, as far as I'm aware, Acer have no vision of currently.
Maluno just cleared it out.
And yeah, it's not looking good at this stage, especially since they did have a ward in the back of Dragon, which is actually going to forcibly stop Super A's going back. Obviously didn't want to go in there. There goes the Dark Bind actually landing with the Tormented Soil in onto LoL Pro, who will instantly dash off back towards his teammates. And Curs, wisely so, want to make sure that this middle lane is pushed out, that Acer have something to deal with when they start to peel off towards this Baron. They've got complete control, basically, of this top side of the jungle. They should be able to clear this ward out here with that Oracle on Maluno as well. And
there it is.
There is the ward gone.
I like that it didn't go in on the Dark Binding on the Lee Sin, because Lee Sin can always jump up. What they're trying to do, Extinct is just throwing as many blind bindings as he can until he hits a target that cannot easily leave his Dark Binding, and I think then they're going to go all in on them.
Yeah, I would expect them to dive in onto that one as well. Obviously, Morgana by now does have the Zhonya's Hourglass available as well, so can get that invulnerability. But Acer, they're not giving up on this one, but here we go, push coming in from Kurtz. They've decided this is the right time to go in. The Ezreal ulti comes around as well. There's the Orianna ulti, we can see that Extinct is going to proc onto at least 3 of them there. Super Ace goes down. We saw Lee Sin drop just before that. Pucky Style now going to be headbutted away. He did get a kill before his death, but this is going to be surely an ace. Actually, the Guardian Angel there on Jax is at least going to keep him alive for now, but he was trying to get off towards Slepper, who will manage to escape, and Nico is still alive, running away. There goes the headbutt pulverized. Dark Binding will land as well, and there is the Tormented Soil. The kill finished off, and there is the ace. I told you it was going to be an ace. I thought I called it too early, but in the end, they saved me.
Well done there. Well done, Joe, and also well done, Curse. I like the play from Selva in this one. He was on Vladimir, on Angush. He identified that Angush is a scary, scary man, and he waited for Angush to come out of the pool and instantly dropped him with a command attack, command dissonance combo. So that was really well played, but I don't know what his team was doing in the meantime, because unfortunately the AD carry from the enemy team was still up and gave him just a little bit too much trouble there. And what did I miss?
Extinct just total clutch spell shield to stop the stun coming in onto him there. Right outside of the turret. Great stuff from Extinction. Curse, you know, I said it earlier on that Acer are the team in Group A that would chop SK or Curse. It doesn't look like it's going to be Curse, but you know, let's not call this one until it's really over. Seleva's actually pushing in here onto Extinct. We'll use the ulti and we'll get the kill there as well. And just showing the power of this Orianna, especially now since she's got that Deathfire Grasp finished, taking a big chunk of health away right from the very get-go. Makes you a great dueling champion. And now Dragon's going over, and that's going to bring them just that one step closer, you know, to having maybe a possible comeback.
Joe, I just did some math in my head.
Really?
And before Deathfire...
Do you have headache now?
I do, a little bit. Before Deathfire Grasp, Selva puts out about 1,050 damage with his combo.
Yeah.
So that's what we just saw in Morgana. That's what just made Morgana disappear there. Little magic trick from Selva. Good Ezreal ultimate actually takes 4 of them. That means Ezreal is going to have full stacks. Passive now. Cynic is going to get dumped on. The ultimate is not going to matter at all. Now this is actually a pretty good play here from Acer. They still have everybody up, and 2 members are still down on Curse. So they are on Baron, forcing Curse to come in on this. And Slepper is poking really, really well, doing a lot of damage. There is the Vladimir ultimate as well, as Selva gets pushed back into the pit there, but he's going to be very happy. Oh, there is the teleport from Extinct, who goes very, very low immediately, but is going to survive just long enough. Pookie Style sitting outside the Dragon Pit, putting some damage in, but no one offers themselves anymore, and Curse are playing this so well here. Super Ace is going to go down to Anguish, and oh, there's a little dazzle, but he's not going to get away too much. And at the same time, in mid lane, the chase is still on. Actually, Anguish says, I don't really care about your support, I want to help my team push in this mid inhibitor as quickly as possible. And it looked like Acer should have been able to do that, but somehow just great play from Curse. The teleport in once again from Morgana, wonderfully done there, and it looks really good for Curse right now.
Yeah, I mean, Curse went into that fight in a 3 versus 5 at the very start.
Yep.
And you know, they held their nerve, they kept their bottle, and they were able to pull things out later on. There's the Ezreal ultimate just to farm from across the map.
Of course.
As all good Ezreals will do. And now Curse looking to push down another tower. Actually, we see Graves just quick drawing away from that one. Doesn't even want to get involved anywhere near these 3. Obviously could end up getting slowed, or even worse for him, probably that Dark Binding landing from Morgana. But he has managed to hold out on this tower, which has survived with minimal HP.
Let me point out that Ezreal bought a Guardian Angel. There was a long time when AD carries used to buy defensive items as their 3rd, 4th item. Maybe a Guardian Angel, maybe a Banshee's Veil. That time is pretty much over, but I can really see why this works. With Jax and with Lee Sin around, and with Orianna as well, there's so many people who can just dump onto Slepper and take him early out of a fight. And if that happens now, then there is still the damage output from Anguish, there's still the damage output from Extinct, and they can get people down, and then, you know what, Slapper comes back to life and says, thank you very much, I'll clean up. So very, very interesting buy there. We do see a chain rest on Graves as well, so he could be going for that as well. So we may have a situation like in the Fnatic versus Moscow 5 game, where I think 9 people had a Guardian Angel, Joe. Don't know if you saw that game. It was pretty silly.
9 people.
9 people with Guardian Angel.
Yeah,
yep.
I'm not quite sure we're going to get to that level in this one. But right now, Curse, you know, it's their game to lose, to be quite frank with you.
Yeah.
With that Baron on board as well, we just saw Nico actually around this top, but it looks like Curse are going to be pushing in for this top tower. Slapper deciding he's going to tank it, get those first couple of hits away. Anguish then, in the end, comes around, which it doesn't really need to do. The minions are now in there. Extinct will throw out the Dark Banyan. Won't quite land before it ranges out. But Curse slowly but surely, almost tutorial style here. Working their way in towards victory, and Slapper, you know, he's been the big one for them. Playing this edge rail has done a fantastic job. He's totally mobile right now. His items hurt a lot, plus, you know, he's got the safety of that Guardian Angel as well. And they are slowly but surely just going to go straight through on towards this inhibitor, of course, with the Baron buff on as well. We can see Anguish, who is pretty much for the entire game being split pushing with this Vladimir. He's going to go in. There's the Dark Binding landing. That's the cue for Curse to go in. That is a very dead Orianna very quickly. Here is the ultimate from Morgana. Not quite going to proc onto LoL Pro, and he's going to go down anyway. It's not going to make any difference. Anguish is still somehow alive. Hardly got any HP. Guardian's Angel, of course, on Nick, and there is the Sanguine Pool in a clutch bit of timing. And that is going to bring us to 3-4-0 in favor of Curse. Inhibitor turret's going to go down. Inhibitor is going to be following as well. And then they move on towards the Nexus turrets. There's the Dark Binding landing on Super Ace. Kill going to follow up from that one as well. Second Nexus turret goes down. They even want to take Graves on the Fountain. Well, they're like, well, let's take the Nexus. And Curse are going to go 2-0 here in Group A of the European Challenger Circuit Poland. Fantastic, fantastic performance. Still have to give credit to Acer. They still look like a team that could possibly upset SK, who have actually just gone into the VIP room here above us. They were surely watching that one and taking a few notes, I'd say.
I definitely think so. That was a very, very scary play. I just want to point out that last play again. That was exactly why I love watching Curse. Extinct the second that his Dark Bunny hit just flashes over and kills everyone. But I think, Joe, we are going to give over to the stage any second now. Or to us?
Second.
Well, we are the stage. We are the smaller stage. But so
kind of behind us.
Yes, the stage is right there.
Any second now.
Yeah, no, apparently not. Anyway, we can talk about the game a little bit longer until they're ready on the stage. Yeah.
Jak najbardziej, drogi Morglumie, jak najbardziej. So we've had this game. Curse is pretty much through to the next round, almost certain. And then the next game will be SK Gaming versus Acer, and that game will decide whether Ocelot's team is going through to the playoffs or whether it's the Polish team. Tak więc następny mecz będzie między Acerem i SK Gaming. Pokażemy go tutaj i zadecyduje on o tym, kto przechodzi do kolejnej rundy najprawdopodobniej. Tymczasem chciałbym mojego dobrego kolegę powitać na scenie i zgotujcie mu bardzo gorące powitanie. Let's welcome to the stage Demon. How you doing, Demon?
Oh no, I'm doing very well. It's very warm today though.
Okay.
I'm English, not used to
Czy
it.
ktoś ogląda Demona komentarze w internecie? They know you. They know you. Okay, let's get one of the Curse guys for an interview. How about the team captain for an interview? Anguish, come over here. I tried to troll Anguish today, but he knows me apparently, so that didn't work out. Demon, take it away.
Yeah, so, I mean, let's go to the start of the game. Were you aware they were going to do something funky? I mean, that was a whole meta change at that whole start of that game.
Spodziewaliście się, give me a sec, spodziewaliście się, że Acer zrobi coś niespodziewanego na samym początku meczu?
I think it was more our initiation to make a lane swap, since Jack shouldn't be left farming alone. We tried our best to interrupt it, and I guess we did it, since he couldn't kill us in all team fights. It was more of a Graves who got the free farm. We played better team fights, we caught them off guard in some small fights, even though we were maybe equal, and I guess the skill maybe won the game instead of picks.
Tak więc przede wszystkim umiejętności zrobiły różnicę w tym meczu, a nie wybór postaci, nie wybór czempionów. Wiedzieli, że Jacksowi nie wolno dać farmować, ale Graves również tam coś pograł i kluczem było to, że wygrali drużynowe walki wspólne.
You've taken Ezreal for the last 2 games, Pulsefire Ezreal, I should say, get the advertisement in there. Is there anything particular you guys have noticed with him that's made you go to him? Because he's not been buffed or anything.
Sorry, I couldn't hear anything from your question.
You're not listening to me. Their Ezreal pick, they've used it twice.
Tak, więc pytanie było o postać Ezreal. 2 razy została wybrana. Seriously. Just keep answering.
Okay. The Ezreal pick is more like trying to counter the Jax itself. You just focused on one pick to be countered by whole team, most likely. And it quite very well against some bruisers too. So the Jax, the Lee Sin, they can't attack him, they can't kill him, he can defend himself. And that's the mind behind it.
Tak, więc wybór Ezreala był podyktowany tym, że grali przeciwko Jaxowi, przeciwko Lee Sinowi. Postacie, które po prostu nie radzą sobie dobrze z Ezreal.
Okay, so chances are you're going to top the group now. Looking forward to this afternoon, Group B. You've got the big CLG Moscow 5 in there, you've got Ocelot World as well as ELO Hell. Is there anyone particular that you're thinking, okay, we're going to top the group, who do we want from that group?
Tak więc bardzo duże prawdopodobieństwo jest, że Crs wyjdzie z pierwszego miejsca z grupy. W drugiej grupie jest wiele ciekawych drużyn. Kogo sobie życzą jako przeciwników?
Well, since we most likely will be top, 3-0, the first team in our group, I guess we'll meet probably CLG, since Moscow 5 should have higher chances to be the first team in their group. And as some followers of our team should know that we beat CLG most of the time. We don't consider them our rivals, more like Moscow 5, and we have more chances against CLG than Moscow 5. So we expect finals.
Tak więc Anguish spodziewa się, że z drugiej grupy z pierwszego miejsca wyjdzie Moscow 5, z drugiego miejsca CLG. Natomiast w tej grupie dzisiaj bardzo możliwe, że Chaos Gaming wyjdzie z pierwszego miejsca ze stanem 3-0, w związku z czym spotkają prawdopodobnie CLG Europe i właśnie dosyć odważnie zapowiada, że prawdopodobnie wygrają, dlatego że grają często, a za prawdziwych rywali uznają Rosjan z Moscow 5.
And finally, you've moved to Berlin recently as a team, as a gaming house. Do you feel that the camaraderie that you've gathered from that, the team play, is all helping towards this tournament, you know, enjoying Poland?
Tak więc drużyna Crs przeniosła się niedawno do Berlina i pytanie właśnie, czy fakt, że mieszkają razem, że grają wspólnie, czy to pomaga im tutaj na tym turnieju?
Berlin is nice, even though we don't see it so much, because we were just playing in the boot camp. And I think we'll move into gaming house after the Poland. And yeah, it helps team to get better, like in terms of like relationship, to understand each other, maybe like how they're thinking instead of just telling them the mistakes. So they would know in the future how to react to each other. That helps a lot.
Tak więc Berlin bardzo im się podoba, tylko że spędzają tyle czasu na grze, że nie za dużo go mogą zobaczyć. I sam fakt, że wspólnie mieszkają, wspólnie grają, to bardzo pomaga w zrozumieniu, dlatego że znają się osobiście.
And finally, any word for the fans out there? There's a lot of people come to watch you, enjoying your games. Anything you'd like to say to those guys?
Thank you for watching our games. Keep on watching them. And I don't know, thanks for our sponsors, the Crs, TeamSpeak, Gunners, and Logitech. we're using the headsets and so on.
Tak więc Anguish chciał podziękować tutaj przybyłym fanom League of Legends za doping oraz sponsorem swojej drużyny Crs. So, thanks Demon, thanks Anguish.